All right, guys, this is Miss Bagwell. I am sitting at home with the flu and wanted to make sure that you still got your notes done, though, for Unit 4. So this is your Day 6 notes, starting with number 1. It says, use the information provided to write the equation of a circle, okay? So on this picture, we want to remember to write the equation of a circle. We need the center and we need the radius, okay? So to find the center, we're just looking at this graph. You can make little crisscrosses like this if you want. And of course the center is going to be right in the middle of that. And so for this one, our center point is going to be at -3, -4. Remember the x value always comes first, and then the y value. Radius we can just count. So here's 1, there's 2, so our radius is 2. Sorry, you couldn't see that. And then you just plug into the equation of a circle. So x, and remember it's minus a -3, so it's really +3 squared plus y plus 4 squared equals, and then you do your radius squared, and so 2 squared would give me 4. So this is the equation of that circle, okay? Numbers 2 through 4 are just like that. So you just get your center point from your graph and count your radius, and then use that to just plug into that formula, okay? All right, now down here on number 5, they give you the equation of the circle, and they want you to graph it, okay? So remember our equation of a circle is that x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So if we see a +4 right here, then that x coordinate for the center is actually a -4. And if we see another +4 here with the y, then the y coordinate is also a -4. Our radius is going to be the square root of whatever's at the end down here. So in this case, the square root of 7. And we'll put that in our calculator to get the approximation. Give me just a sec to grab a calculator. Okay, so the square root of 7, and I do not have a calculator, so we're going to try to estimate that. We know that the square root of 9 is 3, and the square root of 4 is 2. So this is going to be somewhere between 2 and 3, okay? I believe it's something like 2.3 maybe, okay? I'm sorry that I don't have a calculator, but you can put that in your calculator to figure out what that is. And just adjust on your notes here and on your graph if it's different from 2.3. So now to graph this, we want to start with our center point, -4, -4. So graph that center point. And then we want to count up, down, left, and right that radius, that 2.3-ish, okay, or whatever it actually is. So feel free to check me on that. So that'd be 1, 2, and 0.3 is going to be almost halfway. So you can put yourself a point there. I'm going to go up 1, 2, and then almost halfway. Left 1, 2, and almost halfway. And down 1, 2, and almost halfway. Okay? So we want our circle to go through these points. As you draw it, make sure that it actually looks circular. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I don't want to see like little diamonds or squares. That is not a circle. So make sure that you got a little bit of curve to it, okay? Okay, so then like on number 6, here our center point, remember it's going to be the opposite value. So this is a negative. Your center point's actually going to be +2. There's nothing for the y, so that value would be 0. And then radius is the square root of 4, which equals 2, okay? So graphing that 2, 0, we're going to go up 2, down 2, right and left 2, and then sketch your circle. Okay. All right, so that's the first page of notes. You can, of course, go do the others, and an answer key is posted on Schoology, so you can check that if you have any questions on that. So on the next page, page 16, it talks about completing the square, okay? That's what we've been doing on our warm-ups all this week, okay? So as a reminder, completing the square, first you group the x's and you leave a space. Then you're going to group the y's and leave a space. Then you're going to move the constant over to the right side and leave 2 spaces. Okay? And to complete the square, here's those points of how to do it. Find the magic numbers, that's half the middle term, and then square it. Do it for both sides, and for both x and y, and then factor and simplify, okay? All right, so I know this looks a little different because in the past you have not had an x and a y as you've been completing the square, but that's what's new today, so that's what I'm going to show you. So we want to group together our x's, so that'd be like x squared and 16x. Then you want to put a plus blank there. Close out that parentheses, and then we're going to group the y's together. So this would be y squared minus 22y. Then you've got your plus blank. And that's going to equal, see if I can zoom out for you a little more. That's going to equal, we're going to need to add this 20 to each side. So it's going to equal 20. And then over there you should put 2 blanks, okay? All right, I'll try to write a little smaller on the next line so that you can see all of it, okay? But there we go, x squared plus 16x plus a blank, then plus the y squared minus 22y plus blank equals 20, and we're gonna have 2 blanks here, okay? The first blank over here with the x's matches with this first blank next to the 20. The second blank with the y's matches with the second blank there. Okay, so the magic number for this x, remember that's 16 divided by 2, and then square it. That's 8 squared, which is 64. That's also going to go in this first blank over here with the 20. Then the negative 22, divide that by 2 and square it. That's negative 11 squared, which is 121. That goes in this blank. And then it goes also in the blank on the right side, okay? Remember, that's because if we do something to one side, we have to do it to the other side as well, okay? All right, now you want to factor this x group, okay? Remember, the shortcut for that factoring is that it would be x plus 8. It's going to be half of that middle term, okay? Squared plus. Then for the y's, it's going to be half of that negative 22, so that'd be y minus 11 squared equals. And then just combine all of these terms together, okay? 20 plus 64 is 84, and then add on the 121. So 84 plus 121 should give us 205. Yeah. And so this is our equation of a circle, okay? So if the question says to write the equation of a circle, you would follow the steps that we just did. Now let's go ahead and practice writing out what our center point would be for that one. So remember, you got to change your signs here. Negative 8 and positive 11. And the radius is going to be the square root of 205. And then you could, of course, put that in your calculator and get the decimal if you needed it, okay? All right, I'll do one more example. I'll try to write a little smaller on this one so you can see it better. So grouping your x's, x squared minus 12x plus blank, plus grouping your y's, y squared plus 8y plus blank, okay, equals, remember we got to move this 32 over to the other side, so to do that we have to subtract 32. So it's going to equal negative 32, and put your 2 blanks, one for the x's and one for the y's. All right, figure out your magic number here. So half of 12 is 6, and 6 squared would be 36. That goes in the blank with the x's as well as the first blank on the other side. With your y's, half of 8 is 4. 4 squared is 16. It also goes on the right side. Okay, factoring this becomes x minus 6. Remember, it's half of that middle term. Squared plus y plus 4 squared equals, and adding all these together, we end up with 20. Okay, so our center would be negative 6, positive 4, and the radius is the square root of 20. And that should be something, I believe, like 4.5. Of course, put that in your calculator and double check me there. Okay, so that's how you complete the square with finding the equation of a circle, okay? Okay, so on the next page, these are just practice with the graphing and with the completing the square, okay? So first thing you want to do is always make sure that all your variables are on the left side and constants on the right. So on this one, you would have x squared plus y squared equals 9. You actually don't have to complete the square at all here. Your center is just 0, 0, and your radius is that square root of 9, which is 3. Okay, and then I think you can graph it, so I'm not going to do that one for you. If we look at a problem like number 6, putting your x's together, we'd have 5x squared plus 20x plus a blank. And then your y squareds, we have just the 5y squared. We don't have a linear term. And so you don't have to complete the square for that. That'll already be a perfect square. And the 35 is already over on the right side. Now notice how all of these have a multiple of 5, okay? So I'm actually going to back up here. Okay, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of that 5 out of everything, okay? So now we've got x squared plus 4x. Go ahead and put your plus blank there because we're going to need that. Then plus, now we just have y squared equals 7. And we want to put a plus blank next to that 7 from the x's. So half of 4 is 2. 2 squared gives me 4 for that blank. Put that on each side. And then factoring it, we get x plus 2 squared plus y squared equals 11. This is going to give me a center point of negative 2, 0, and a radius of the square root of 11, okay? And then you would graph that. Okay, that should pretty much cover what you need from the notes from day 6. And so, of course, check Schoology for more answers from the notes if you need them, or send me a message on Schoology if you have questions. I'll do the best that I can to reply. So there you go. You've got your day 6 homework that you need to complete. You also have your Unit 4 review that you can be working on. And so the rest of the block today, you will complete the rest of your day 6 homework, as well as work on your review if you finish before the bell rings, okay? All right, hope y'all have a great day, and I hope that y'all can stay well and not get the flu. And I will be back with another video tomorrow to do the circles review page that I told you about, the graphic organizer, okay? All right, see y'all later. Bye.